Started the carnivore diet 2 weeks ago. Initially lost 8 kg, but only been gaining weight in small quantities since then. I only have one adrenal gland. Is the cortisol the reason? Possibly. I mean, you'd have to test your cortisol to check. The only real accurate way to check cortisol with any reliability is doing like 24-hour urine cortisol, which is a bit of a pain because you have to carry a jug around with you. And just anytime you have to pee in that jug, or pee in something and then put it in the jug. But anyway, you have to collect it, and you have to collect 24 hours worth of urine and to see how much cortisol your body is using and producing. So that's a way to check your cortisol. But there's a lot of different reasons why people might be gaining weight, and it may not have anything to do with anything going wrong. It could be, that you're working out. If you're lifting weights and you're working out, you're actually going to put on muscle. The thought is that if you're going to put on muscle, you're necessarily going to gain fat along with it. And if you're losing fat, you necessarily have to lose muscle along with it. So you're trying to balance out getting a couple pounds of lean body mass and things like that. It's total nonsense. That's only if you're eating garbage or basically carbs. So if you're just eating a carnivore diet, a ketogenic carnivore diet, you can absolutely put on muscle and lose fat at the same time. I did it. Thousands of other people are doing it. So there's no reason to suspect that you can't do that. And that is a very common weight loss stall that people have, and they get very worried, where people are doing great. They're feeling amazing. Their clothes are fitting much more loosely, and their belts are going down notches, but their weight's not moving. And they're like, well, I'm working out, I'm lifting weights, I'm doing all these things, but I'm not losing weight. What the hell's going on? It's like, well, you're losing fat and you're gaining muscle, and that's offsetting it. I mean, I lost 23 pounds in the first 10 days. A lot of that's going to be water weight, but some of it's going to be fat as well. And then I lost nothing for a good 6 months because I was working out heavily and playing rugby and lifting weights 3-4 hours a day, every day, and maybe had one rest day a week. If that, I sometimes didn't even take a rest day because my body just recovered so well. But either way, I was putting on muscle and I was losing fat. And so I could see my body changing, and I've never cared about my weight. In fact, being an athlete, I sort of like being a bit heavier because that gives me more bulk to throw around into people. And so I was happy weighing the same. I thought it was hilarious that I just weighed exactly the same to the pound every single day. And for 6 months, and then I hurt my knee, and then I couldn't squat, I couldn't sprint, and I actually lost weight then because I started losing muscle mass in my legs. So that's not what I wanted. So you don't want to lose fat, or you want to lose fat. You don't want to lose weight. So weight could be lean body mass. Ozempic, you lose weight, but 40% of that weight is lean body mass that you do not want to lose. And then when you regain the weight, 100% of that weight is fat because you haven't corrected their eating habits and their diet and lifestyle. So keep that in mind. Are you stalling because you're putting on muscle and it's just a scale thing, or are you actually putting on fat? If you're putting on fat, then it could be that sometimes you're not even eating enough, or you're leaving some things in. Are you doing carnivore? Some people say carnivore, that to them, they mean just they're eating a lot more meat, and they're eating mostly meat. But what carnivore really is you are eating nothing else except meat. And those little things that you keep in your diet can absolutely stall your weight loss. Dairy is a big weight loss stall. Artificial sweeteners are a major weight loss stall. And so on. Obviously, carbs, if you're still including carbs, that's going to slow you down as well. Increasing fat, that's something that people find a lot helps them with fat loss. If they're not eating enough, that can slow down your metabolism. Your body thinks you're like in the winter time and food is scarce. So your body has to really preserve the fat that's on your body to make it through the lean times. And if you start eating a lot more, your body goes, great, everything's great. We'll open it up because we have plenty of food available. Fat increase can help us as well. Again, for that same thing, you need this fat, because if you're not eating enough fat, your body's saying, okay, well, we're not getting enough of what we need. Again, going to slow down the metabolism. But also, there are new studies showing that as you increase calories from fat and reduce calories from protein, that this can elicit the production, increased production of FGF21, which is a hormone that triggers fat usage, lipolysis. And so you burn a lot more fat. In fact, you can burn up to 400 more calories again, using this outdated sort of way of thinking, but just for ease of communication, increases basal metabolic rate by 400 kilocalories a day. Hey guys, just want to take a second to thank our sponsor, Carnivore Bar. I don't promote many products because honestly, all you need to be healthy is to just eat meat. For those times that you're out hiking, road tripping, or stuck at work and you want a nutritious snack that is just meat, fat, and salt if you want it, the Carnivore Bar is a great option. So I like this product not because it's just pure meat, but also because I want the carnivore market to thrive as well. And the more we support meat-only products, the more meat-only products there will be available in the mainstream. So if this sounds like something you'd like to get behind, check it out using my discount code Anthony to get 10% off, which also applies to subscriptions, giving you 25% off total. All right, thanks guys. So this is the premise behind the sugar diet, where people are saying they're losing all this weight eating a bunch of candy and nonsense. Well, how does that work? Well, they're reducing their protein intake significantly, and that's triggering FGF21. And there's a study that's out that's actually showed, okay, well, you can do that with carbs. You can also do that with fat. If you can increase the fat, it's really about the protein being low, not the carbs being high or even the fat being high. It's the protein being low is the main thing there. And that triggers FGF21, and that triggers fat loss. But if you do it with the sugar diet, you're going to get malnourished because it's very devoid of nutrition. You're also going to get metabolic disease and metabolic dysfunction and long-term harm from the glycation, from the high blood sugar. And that will cause harm. Whether or not you're insulin resistant or whatever, you are going to cause damage from glycation. And that is what kills diabetics. That's what damages the vasculature. It causes heart disease. It causes number one cause of kidney dysfunction is high blood sugar. Number one cause of blindness in adults is diabetic retinopathy from that high blood sugar damaging the renal vessels, damaging the vessels in your toes and your feet. So people have to get amputations, and now they need prosthetics and things like that. So this causes major damage just from that high blood sugar. And so over time, you're going to damage yourself. Whatever else happens, you are going to damage your vasculature, and you're going to get end organ damage from that damage from the high blood sugar. So be very careful with that. And so keep that in mind. If that's something that we see when people go carnivore and they sort of hit a stall, if it's, if it's not muscle that they're putting on because they're working out, sometimes they're under eating, or they're under eating fat in particular. And then when they start eating enough fat and their body says, right, and everything opens up, whether that's FGF21 or something else for their particular circumstance, something happens anyway. Watching that really pisses me off. And so I just, I just want to help undo that.